Thank you, Patriji sir, to join again. Dear friends, today we'll learn more and more wisdom, more and more higher wisdom from Patriji sir, more on spiritual sides today. We understood several intricacies of meditation, benefits of meditation, process of meditation, experience of meditation. So today, most important subject about spiritual science, we'll try to understand some concepts in detail from Patriji sir. So one of the most common questions, concerns, worries, fears is about death.
The first point, the second point, the third point, the nth point in spiritual science is that there is no death. Death is a laughable affair. Death is only the conclusion of one episode and the beginning of another episode. This is common knowledge in every religion. Only thing they don't believe their own religion. The Hindus don't believe their own Bhagavad Gita. The Christians don't believe their own Bible. And the Muslims, they don't believe their own Quran. Every religion, the fundamental thing in every religion is that there is no death. We are all souls. We are not physical bodies. So, although so many religions are there, and everybody belongs to some religious sect or otherwise, but still nobody is religious. Nobody understands the religious texts correctly and implements them. Every religious text says you are not the body and there is no death. Death is only for the body. Death is only an end of an episode. So, you are called spiritual when you believe in your own religion and implement it, you are spiritual. It doesn't take much intelligence to understand any religious scripture. To understand a Bhagavad Gita or a Quran or a Bible is very easy. The fundamental point is that there is no death. That's all. So, when somebody dies, then you don't cry for it. You say, okay, he is going to be there in another area, another world, and continuing his existence. Nothing dies. Neither matter dies, nor energy dies, nor consciousness dies. There is one episode after another episode after episode after episode after episode after episode ad infinitum. Death is like sleep in the night. When you wake up, you are with the same person, the same problems, same advantages, same disadvantages. Your life continues wherever you have left yesterday night before you went to sleep. During night sleep, you get a lot of rest, but you, in the morning when you wake up, you continue your previous day's activities at the same level. So death is also like that. You continue in the same level. Your area changes. From the physical world, you go to the astral world. From the astral world, you go to a causal world. From a causal world, you go to a supracausal world. But you are the same person. There is a constant continuity. So, when you understand your own religious script is truly that you are called a spiritual. When you have not understood your own religious scripts truly, then you are still religious. You only go to a temple and come back. You don't understand the scripture. You go to a church and come back. You go to a masjid and come back, but you don't follow the philosophy. When you follow the philosophy, real philosophy of your own religion, you are called a spiritual. And all the philosophy is the same, that you are not the body, there is no death. That's all. It's very easy to become spiritual through your own religion.
Sir, sayings from the religious scriptures about no death are from masters like Adi Shankaracharya.
Let us forget about scriptures and Adi Shankaracharyas.
Okay, sir.
Let us talk about Lobsang Rampa.
Okay.
Last century's Tibetan sage. Okay. I got all my wisdom only from Lobsang Rampa. His books, Third Eye, You Forever, Hermit, Three Lives, Wisdom of the Ancients, 13 books or 14 books are there. I got all my wisdom from this great Tibetan sage, Lobsang Rampa. He has written 3 books, many books on death. 3 Lives is one book. I Believe is another book. Straight on the topic of death. In 3 Lives, a book titled 3 Lives, he selected 3 persons, an ordinary fellow, an educated fellow, he dies and what happens to him. A priest dies and what happens to him afterwards. And another, a very good man, dies and what happens to him. 3 lives. They die and what happens in the astral worlds. Similarly, in the book called I Believe, very beautifully, the whole book is about one person dies and the whole life after death states in the book I Believe. So, in the book You Forever, he has given everything. So, we don't have to go to any scriptures. We don't have to go to any Adi Shankaracharyas. Straight away go to Lobsang Rampa. I learned from him. I want everybody to learn from him. Everybody should read Lobsang Rampa's books. Great books. And then you go on to Theosophical Society books. Books by Annie Besant, Ledbetter, Blavatsky, Alcott, Jana Rajadasa, Dodson. All knowledge about life after death is there for you. There is a big treasure in Theosophical Society about life after death. So I recommend Lobsang Rampa and all Theosophical Society books for all those people who want to learn about life after death. I have done that and everybody should do that.
Sir, you mentioned about there are different worlds after death. You said we go to astral world, casual world, supra-casual world. So can you explain that?
There are n number of worlds, n number of bodies here. And there are n number of worlds outside. With this n number of bodies, you go to n number of worlds. It's a big subject. You have to dedicate your whole life to study this. It's not a question and answer session, Baba. So you have to read all those books. Then you will understand about the astral body, about the cause of the body, supra-causal body, cosmic body, nirvanic body. Intra-terrestrial worlds, extraterrestrial worlds, extra-dimensional worlds.
Okay, so much detail, you lose the essence. If you
Yes.
talk about it in a short time,
Yes.
you lose the essence.
You must read Paul Brunton.
Yes.
You must read Tibetan Book of the Dead. You must read Egyptian Book of the Dead. You must read Kathopanishad, which is straight about life after death. Hundreds and thousands of books are there. If you want to know about death, you must read all these hundreds and thousands of books. If you want to know about Switzerland, you must read so many books about Switzerland. Otherwise, how can you know about Switzerland? If you want to know about Switzerland, there are so many books are written about Switzerland, its culture, its history, its geography. All those books are there. So you have to read all those books on Switzerland to know about Switzerland. They are all available there. If you want to understand about Mexico, you have to read all the books about Mexico. If you want to understand about North Pole, you have to read so many books on North Pole.
So much essence is there, no, sir.
Essence is that there is no death. That's enough for you to live happily.
Okay.
That is the essence. You must ask for my essence, not in the detailed subject. The essence, there is no death. Essence, you got several bodies, n number of bodies, there are n number of worlds. That is the essence. In the interview, only essence can be got, not the whole subject.
So give that in 5 to 8 minutes, sir.
What? What do you want?
About the 7 bodies, sir. Can you talk about the 7
The physical body is there, the etheric body is there.
No, sir.
I will look at you only.
Okay, sir. Then it will be an interaction with this. It's not a concept we can use, sir.
Everything is same, yaar.
Sir,
Physical body is there, etheric body is there, astral body is there, causal body is there, supracausal body is there, cosmic body is there, nirvanic body is there. 7 bodies are there, like 7 colors in a light, white light. Theosophical Society has written a book called The 7 Bodies. You read that book in detail. I can only suggest all these books. That is enough for any seeker who wants to further study. This interview should help others what to do next.
Okay.
This interview will not give them, will make them enlightened. Will give them information about their enlightenment, what they can do, pursue. They have to read all these books. It's hard work. You have to read Autobiography of Yogi.
Yes.
You have to read Living with the Himalayan Masters. You have to read all these books. It's a big course. Enlightenment is a very big course. It's like engineering. Engineering you study for 5 years. Daily morning you go to the college and come back in the evening. So many books are there. It's a big 5-year course. Enlightenment is it not a 5-year course? Is it a 5-minute course?
Sir, to motivate a student to take engineering or not, we can talk about half an hour to explain what goes into engineering. So maybe we can give that
When
much.
we give all these examples of great masters and great books, that is enough motivation. That is enough motivation for a sensible fellow. One piece of information is enough for a sensible fellow. That's all. And so many people are sensible. I don't think there are any insensible people outside. They are all sensible people. If you ask them to read Lobsang Rampa, they will all read everything. And they will be happiest people. They won't come back to me again. And if you don't read Lobsang Rampa, you will keep coming back to me again and again. Then what is the point? If you don't do your homework, classwork will not help you. You have to do your homework. And I give the homework. What books must be read? You can only put a question, what books for you to read and which subject? On the subject of life after death, there is n number of books. You have to read all those books. The more you read, the better you become.
Sir, what about soul evolution? The soul is moving from an infant soul to an infinite soul. Should we again go back and read?
The soul is constantly evolving. Gathering knowledge, gathering experiences is called evolution. You gather experiences. In every lifetime you gather experiences. Every non-lifetime you gather experiences. In the astral worlds you gather experiences. In the causal worlds you gather experiences. In the physical worlds you gather experiences. With every experience the soul is graduating. The soul is always graduating. When you fail in an examination, you get some information about yourself. When you pass an examination, you get some information about yourself. So whenever you get more information about yourself, you are graduating. You are progressing. Soul is always progressing. Soul is always constantly progressing. Every soul is progressing. The Hitler progressed when he became a Hitler. Buddha progressed when he became a Buddha. Veerappan progressed when he became a Veerappan because he did something. Understand? So every person is always progressing through his own experience, through his own knowledge. The whole universe is progressing. Every being is progressing. Every plant is progressing. Every animal is progressing. Every human being is progressing. Every god is progressing. Once what happened? Many astral masters, they wanted to see Lord Shiva. So those astral masters, they did meditation in their astral bodies. They came out of their astral bodies in their causal bodies. They went to the supra-causal bodies. And somewhere in the supra-causal body, Lord Shiva is there. So they could go successfully to Lord Shiva. When they went to Lord Shiva, he was doing meditation. So they all sat in front of Lord Shiva. After a long time, then he opened his eyes. He said, "Why are you coming here? What is the point?" They forgot. They said, "Swamiji, you are the greatest person in the whole world. We want to have darshan of you, and you are doing meditation. Why are you doing meditation?" Then Lord Shiva said, Arey, my boss is there, somewhere upside. I am looking after him, looking for him. You don't worry about my level of evolution. Tell me why you have come here. So there is always unending evolution. Lord Shiva is also evolving. He is also looking for his future. So soul is always evolving. Whatever you do or you don't do, you are evolving. Whether you are fail or success, you are evolving. With every experience, you are evolving. When you understand this, you understand spirituality. When you understand this, you are happy. When you are happy, you are healthy. Physical body's health depends upon mind's happiness. Mind's happiness depends upon spiritual science knowledge. And spiritual science says you are always progressing. So there is no point in worrying about soul's growth at all. It's always growing. It's a natural process. The soul is forever, the soul's growth is forever. But you can hasten the soul's growth by doing meditation, by reading books, by listening to others' experiences, by putting questions to me. You can hasten your progress. Even without reading the books, without listening to others' experiences, without putting a question to me, without doing your meditation, also you are progressing. But with all these things, you will hasten your progress. You will rapidize the process. Whatever you do or you may not do, whatever you attempt, you may not attempt, you are always progressing. Because every attempt or every non-attempt will give you a certain experience. And that experience adds on to your experience bank. Your experience bank keeps on enlarging. Your experience bank is equal to your knowledge bank. It keeps on increasing. In spite of yourself, it keeps on increasing. But because of yourself, you can hasten your progress also. By doing a lot of meditation, by reading all the books that I suggested, by listening to every other master's experience, Sajjan Sangatya, then occasionally come to me like this. Yes. Soul's evolution is forever. It's happening everywhere. Only those people who are blind, they cannot see it. Blind people cannot see it because they are blind. The situation, the scene is there, but they are blind, so they can't see it. When you can't see it, you think it's not there. No. It is there, but you can't see it because you don't have the eyes to see. Once what happened, one fellow, he lost his mother. His mother's body was there. He was crying. Then one sage was going in that way. He asked this fellow, "Why are you crying?" "My mother is dead. That's why I'm crying." That sage said, "Your mother didn't die. The eyes with which you can see your mother are dead. You have got dead eyes. Therefore you can't see your mom. Your mom didn't die. She didn't leave you. She is there with you, but you can't see her now. Because your eyes are dead." So, when you don't have the eyes to see the soul's growth everywhere, you don't see soul's growth. You see only suffering everywhere. You only see regression everywhere. No, there is no regression anywhere. There is only progression everywhere. You must have the eyes to see. That eye, what is that eye? That is spiritual science eye. That eye is called a spiritual science eye. That's called Jnanic eye. Jnana is spiritual science. Jnani means a spiritual scientist. Ajnani means a person who lacks spiritual science. Those eyes, spiritual science eyes. When you have the spiritual science eyes, you see everything. Every soul is progressing. Constantly. In spite of itself, it is progressing. Even if it does not want to progress, it is progressing.
Wonderful, sir. So can you define spiritual science?
Spiritual science is the science concerning the spirit. The soul is a part of spirit. For example, a jar is there, a small jar. There is space inside the jar,
Yes.
and there is space outside the jar. Are they one and same or not?
Same.
The same Akasha outside is the same in the jar.
Yes.
So this space inside the jar is called as soul. That space outside the jar is called as spirit.
Spirit.
Science about that spirit is called as spiritual science. Science about this soul is called as soul science. Soul and spirit are one and same. Soul is the space, the spirit inside the jar. Spirit is that which is outside the jar. The jar is the physical body. When you take a handful of water from an ocean, this is the same water. But now this water has come into your hands. That part of spirit which has come into your hands is called a soul. Spirit is a general, the whole ocean is spirit. So the science about spirit is called a spiritual science. The science about the soul is called a soul science. Soul is the spirit. The space within the jar is the space outside the jar.
And what is are there a few essence of the science of spirit, or if we can identify and say there are 3-4 things?
There are 6 laws of spiritual science.
Okay.
The first law says you are the spirit. Soul by spirit.
Okay.
You are the jar space outside plus stroke outside space.
Correct.
You are the soul plus spirit. Okay? That is the law of consciousness.
Law of consciousness.
Then law of incarnation and reincarnation. You keep on coming inside the jar many times. First time when you come, it's called a law of incarnation. Second time, it's law of reincarnation. And the third law is law of karma. Law of karma is whatever you do, you reap the results thereof.
Cause and effect.
And the fourth is law of constant progression. Just now I have said, the soul is always progressing. The fourth law is the law of constant progression. The fifth law is the law of hastening the progression. That you must do meditation, you must read books, you must do sajjan sangatya, you must contemplate, ruminate. So all these things are law of hastening the progression. Then finally, you come to law of infinities. Everywhere you look around, you have got infinities. Infinite number of worlds, infinite number of lokas, infinite number of beings, infinite number of types of beings. And these infinities keep on increasing. It's a mind-boggling thing to see the whole creation. So that is the sixth law. Everything is mind-boggling. You can't understand with your puny mind. You want to understand with your puny mind, you can't do it. It's outside. It's infinite. Everywhere it is infinite. You are an eternal being and there are infinities of worlds. You can't measure them. So that is the sixth law. Law of infinities. Law of consciousness, law of incarnation, law of karma, cause and effect, law of constant progression, law of hastening the progression, law of infinities. These are the 6 laws that I have found in my studies, which I teach everybody as part of spiritual science.
Beautiful, sir. More concepts from Patriji about soul evolution, about different bodies, about the science of spirit, in brief, about no death. Patriji has suggested many books, and then the master is always saying that we have to do our homework. This is not something that we want to take in a few minutes, but it's something that in order to really understand in depth, we have to study. And that's why Patriji and the Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement has been emphasizing so much on reading various books of various masters to understand these subjects in depth and then evolve ourselves. So we'll come back with more soon. Thank you.